ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to our continuing coverage of our coverage here in the Smite World Championship Series. Everyone, if you don't know who hi-rez Josh is, you can blame him for that issue. My name is hi-rez Bart. Joining me to my left, your right, is the one and only Hindu Man. And this is the Smite World Championship Series Regional Qualifiers seventh week round of 4. We'll be watching the boys of Cognitive Red going up against Snipe Gaming. And as I'm hearing it told, Snipe nearly dropped their game in the round of 8 to Critosaurus.
Really?
Really. Nearly did. Didn't happen, but almost.
Wow, that's good. Oh, I mean, overall, it's interesting to see those sort of games coming through. But I mean, we did see Snipe. I mean, Snipe have had some roster changes as well, Bart. So with those roster changes, you can expect issues to possibly arise up where people are still getting used to the communication changes between certain individuals on the team that may have been shot callers or, involved in certain ways where you expect someone to react differently to what they actually did. So maybe Snipe having a few teething problems still.
The play, or he was drafting for them before he left the team.
Was he? Okay. I mean, I don't know massive amounts about the North America scene, so
I would have known that either, but I did spend a few days, about a week in China with Xing and Incontinentia, who were standing in for TSM there, and talked a little bit about it. And yeah, I mean, turns out, Wolfie was actually doing the god picking for them. So, I mean, you would expect that transition to be one of the harder ones. Is kind of, do you go into some kind of democracy then, or is it do you find another person to do the drafting for you? How do you go through that?
I mean, when you get to this sort of level of play, though, when you get to the real top end, a lot of the players understand the meta and they understand what good picks and good bans are overall. But it's basically just, you have to always have one leader. That's the big thing. And when you have that leader, he makes the calls. And if you're trying to do a democracy with it, then maybe it's causing some issues. I mean, we're just speculating here now, but that's the big thing overall. I mean, Snipe did get through, though, so they're going to be facing off against Cognitive Gaming this time, not Cognitive Red, as Cognitive Red are the game changers, and they're facing off against Dignitas, and it could be an all-cog final this week as a possibility here, but
I suppose it is indeed, yeah. Although, I mean, it's a tall task for Cognitive Red to take game over to Dignitas. Game changers, formerly game changers, have struggled against that team in the past. Generally, they're very, very aggressive style. They run into kind of the immovable object with Dignitas, who tends to out-aggress them somehow. But we'll see if they give away Thorgars.
I want to bring upsets over, Bart, from EU. That's what I want to do. I want to bring upsets.
Bring the upsets with you.
So what I want is I want Cognitive Red to win, and I want Snipe to win. That's my plan here, and have a Snipe versus Cognitive Red final. Yeah,
we'll see.
That's the plan.
Third and fourth place teams go head to head in the finals.
Do this. That's the hope and the dream, anyway. But I do know that Dignitas are amazing as a team, and on top of that, Cognitive are as well. So it's going to be it's very, very difficult for people to take these two teams out. I'm really looking forward to casting them.
We'll see how it all goes down, guys. We are moving into the picking and banning stage of the game, where we have our first ban already on the table. As you see it popping up now, it is Osiris, banned out.
He's being permabanned now. He's being permabanned now because everyone realizes how actually strong he is. And I think after the Scylla changes that are going to come in, then you'll see him banned even more because people will realize that even though Scylla's still going to be very, very strong, I think Osiris is the strongest god in the game right now, in all honesty.
Wow.
I really do. I think he's just so strong all around.
I mean, yeah, he does very well, and he has a reasonably good early game in terms of his chain slow potential, and he has a very strong late game. Mid game maybe is where it's hit or miss. I feel like he can be strong there with proper positioning, really using the ultimate as it should be used to shut down healers and things like that. It played very, very well mid game. He could be a wrecking force, but he really shines, I think, in the late game and potentially in the early stages as well. It seems to be a very it's definitely a skill-based god, I think, for shutting down the early and mid game stages. And obviously at the pro level, that's something they can execute on more often than not.
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm looking at the picks of bans right here as well, just going through the rest of it. We saw Scylla banned out, no surprise, Thor and Aphrodite, and that leaves Kumbhakarna available, and Cognitive instantly locked that one in. And it seems Kumbhakarna has been a really contested pick. He's not been banned out that much this week, but for North America, but he has been left open and instantly locked in as their first pick. So it shows how much people are starting to value the strength of a very, very strong Guardian.
I'm not sure if it's so much that people don't want to give away Kumbha, as it is they don't want to give away some of the really, really absurd duo combos that go with Kumbha. So it's easier to first pick it, take it off the table, so they can't do something like pick the Kumbha Artemis against you and put you in a very, very tough position. But speaking of that,
Cobra has really, really good matchups with every single hunter though. Like most of the hunters,
fair,
he has some sort of big, big play. Like we said earlier, Cupid and Xbalanque he can play with even. I mean, you're unlikely to see a Xbalanque, but he does have good matchups with most of them just because of his extra strength. But as you were saying, Ao Kuang picked up again. Ao Kuang.
Ao Kuang going to be there for MLC Stealth, who basically, according to Xing and Incon, begs to play Ao Kuang in basically every single game. Probably his favorite god. And we actually had some conversations about this this week. Is what would you expect the item build to be here? My guess is we're going to be seeing the Warlock session of Pen Boots into the Mail of Stealth there. The Mail of Renewal. That is my guess. But we'll see how it all does shake out. Apollo and Agni drafted for Cognitive Gaming on the back end of it. Just putting together a very, very strong team of generally considered the best in slot picks here, whereas Snipe is going a little bit more avant-garde, I suppose, with the Artemis Ao Kuang picks.
Yeah, I mean, Artemis is really starting to rise to the top of the hunter food chain now. She started to come back again after we saw it was generally Apollo and her every single week of the two that we saw. And now we see Artemis starting to sneak in there. And Neef seems to have fallen off quite a lot as well, especially after the changes to Ul, which has, brought him down a peg or two. He's not even considered for picks or bans anymore right now.
Right, yeah, which is surprising considering that, well, it's really the axe is just hard to confirm these days, whereas before it was a bit easier. We do have another ban going back the way of Snipe here, and then they will have to pick on the other side of the ban from Cognitive as well. Let's see what they do elect to ban out. And you got to think that they're going to be looking to ban out perhaps a solo laner here to keep that away from Cog. Even a jungler, although I feel like there's a lot of viable jungle options just in general right now that I got to expect it to be the solo.
There's so many available, so focus on the solo lane is probably the right option here. And there we go, Habwa has been banned out. And there's a Raw ban. Now that's an interesting one, Bart, because we've not actually seen a Raw picked up today, which is very unusual. Very unusual to say. We've not had a Raw played, especially with this amazing patriotic skin coming online on Tuesday. It's going to be
Raw America. I think it's coming out in the beginning of next week. And now I'm, of course, looking at my monitor and I'm a fool. That is, of course, Jeremy that plays mid lane for Snipe Gaming, not MLC Stealth. But so then I'm going to go ahead and retract my Mail of Renewal shenanigans here for Ao Kuang. It will probably be a more standard Warlock session to play Nomicon build. Zhang Kuei also picked up here. So Zhang Kuei for the solo lane, Ao Kuang for the mid lane. A lot of magical damage to the Geb as well, which means that Snipe is forced into a physical jungler here. No big surprise, I suppose, as that tends to be fairly standardized. And we're going to see the rest of the picks from Cog. And I'm looking down at my monitor here, so I'm seeing it a bit early. But yeah, they're hovering on Sobek, which means that Kumbo will be playing.
No, solo back.
It'll be solo back, you think? Yeah.
Solo back.
I suppose.
I think it'll be solo back here.
Oh! My goodness.
It's solo back. Kali. Wow.
Jungle Kali. So I'm not sure where the impetus for the Kali pick comes from. I guess, like, there doesn't seem to be, like, some kind of crazy synergistic matchup here.
The very squishy team that the Snipe have.
So, okay, fair.
Apart from Gab, is very, very squishy. So Kali...
Can she stick to the Zhang Kuei? I mean, she really do... I mean, it'll take her a while to have the items to do enough damage to take out Zhang Kuei before he's just decimating her.
I'm really interested by this matchup. Cognitive's team composition here is really interesting. I'm pretty certain it's going to be a solo Beck, though. I don't see Kumbhakana going into the solo
it's going
lane.
to Omega.
So,
Kumbo will be on to Jeff.
It'll definitely be solo Beck here, so... It's going to be interesting to see how he plays that one out. He will do okay against Zhang Kui, though, because of the healing reduction he has as well.
Sure.
People will, take into account Zhang Kui does, use Recall Demons to get regen in that lane. And Sobek and Kali, if Zhang Kui overextends and he gets flipped, Kali will have a whale of a time beating him down as he tries to run away.
That's right, yeah. Sickening Strike shutting down to healing, the Tail Whip providing the lockdown as well as the Pluck. With the Kali stun as well, could be quite a bit of damage, plus Kali does put that healing... Well, I guess it's the lifesteal debuff on the target that gives her more lifesteal. And another interesting note here is it's going to be jungle chalk for Xing. Not something we see him play too much. But it should be fairly strong at, well, potentially killing the Agni, I think is where you're looking at there. That big silence helping to take out the very notoriously difficult to kill God of Fire. But we'll see how it all does shake out here in just a few moments, guys. It's going to be solo Beck and a jungle Kali.
This is a barn burner.
This right here is a barn burner, my friends. For Hindu Man, I'm hi-rez Bart. We'll see you in just a few minutes with our game out of the round of 4. It's Cog versus Snipe. Winner moves on to the grand finals. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for your patience and welcome to game number 4 today. This is the round of 4 matchup between Cognitive Gaming and Snipe Gaming in the North American Regional Series. It is week number 7. My name is hi-rez Bart. Your name is Chat, and My co-caster today is Hindu Man, and we are underway here. As you see the team starting out in a bit of an opening gambit here. Oh my goodness.
Bit of aggression, easily spied out though. They want to be careful, especially with a Megatron on the map, on that solo Beck of all things. That could cause them some issues if they get hit by that charged prey.
Yeah, we'll definitely be taking a close look at exactly how this build does go down. But for now, let's go ahead and introduce your teams. They are the blue team, fighting on the order side of the map, the bottom side of the mini-map, and the left side of your spectator UI. Ladies and gentlemen, Cognitive Gaming, they are Omegatron as your solo lane Sobek, Andester in the jungle as Kali, Barracuda and Jeff Hindley combining for the dual lane Apollo and Kumbhakarna, respectively. And your mid laner will be MLC Stealth as Agni. Their opponents today, wearing the red trunks, fighting on the chaos side of the map, the top side of your mini-map, and the right side of your spectator UI. Ladies and gentlemen, they are Snipe Gaming. It's going to be Jerby in the mid lane as Ao Kwong, Xing in the jungle as Chalk. Allied will be playing the Hunter role, supported by Incontinentia with Artemis and Geb. Their solo laner will be Kiki as Zhonghui.
At the start of this game, nothing unusual to see. Everyone's just going to go to generalized positions that you'd normally see. Going to be interested to see how Kali plays this game out. How long will she stay in the lane along with a Megatron, and maybe they'll look for an early first blood, or will he just go for the early jungle and just look to farm into the mid-late game stages?
And I'm seeing in chat here that in the Dignitas versus Cog Red game that Anatoly is 1 kill to 4 versus a Fenrir on Divios as Habwa. So I encourage you to go check that out in the game client if you would like to watch both of the things. You have a couple monitors. You can leave the stream running and go ahead and spectate the Dignitas game in the game client and see all of that fun stuff for yourself.
And Fenrir has not even been buffed yet. Look at that.
That's right. Pre-buff.
Pre-buff Fenrir. So back to this game though, we can see Sickening Strike is going to be online for Megatron. He's going to be in there with Kali of all people. Just keep an eye out for a opportunity for the charge prey to come out every single time it is available if you can catch someone out of position. It looks like we're going to see Xing rotate away early and look for the early bait to see if Anderster's going to fall for it and walk out the lane.
So left side lane here, it's the very troubling Kumbhakarna going up against Geb. So two very potent CC-oriented Guardians really here for the meantime. Oh, Barracuda takes a lot of damage there.
He really does. Allied landed a lot of autos in a row there overall. And that lane is playing very, very passively to an extent. From Cognitive, I'm surprised that we didn't see Jeff Hindley going a bit more aggressive with this Kumbhakarna. But the lane matchup between the two is very, very balanced because Apollo has natural disadvantages to Artemis, where Kumba has natural advantages over Geb. So it should be quite an even matchup between those two as the game goes on.
Yeah, that's a fair point. Taking a look here at Jerby's build on the Ao Kwong, you're looking at, well, it's going to be a Rush Book of Thoth, it looks like here with the Lost Artifact. Would be my expectation. So going to be picking that up quite a bit earlier than we saw Agni get it in the last game. Stealth, on the other hand, looks like it's going to be a Bancroft Sound Rush for him after his Vampiric Shroud.
So Anders has finally left the lane first. Xing has spotted him out, though, on this rotation round towards middle. So I think he's just going to rotate in here for some of the mid experience as well. Hit level 5. Xing's right behind him, though, so both going to see the junglers rotate around.
Yeah, no early aggression as of yet. Just 2 minutes, 40 seconds in. Everything going hunky-dory for him here as Anderson now with his red pod active will take on his orange buff camp. Will not have, well, we'll be using the hog here, so mid camp confirming will be a bit more challenging for Cog. They are going to be needing to pull their support here, but I have high expectations that Jeff will be able to meet that demand.
Yeah, experience is absolutely balanced right now, and as you'd expect to see at this high level of play. I mean, we're currently in the semi-finals, and this game could go either way. Mid-camps are respawning now, so let's see how these ones will fall. At the moment, it looks like Sniper in great control to take both of them right now.
Yeah, they have the position here. Xing has rotated over. Well, there's a Spirit.
Tempest? Too late.
Coming through, yeah, a bit late. Trying to, I guess find some damage and secure those.
But Xing's in trouble!
Yeah,
he's taking a lot of damage from Anders now, and you can see Jeff Hindley rotating in there. Has to use the ultimate for the silence. Carly's not finished though, trying to go more aggressive in there. Mez comes out and it's going to be a disengage. But overall, the camps went to Snipe. It was 3 harpies to 1 was the overall scoreline there.
Yeah, so definitely worth it. And there's, well, I suppose the Spirit Tempest used didn't really find anything, but it did, as you see the mist ults coming out in chat there. I mean, if it would have clicked the Gold Furies, it would have been a 4-for-0 trade, so I suppose worth.
Yeah, I mean, overall, Snipe's going to be happy with the outcome of that one. I know they didn't manage to pick it up, but Getting the extra harpy will give him a small lead in experience, but it's such a small lead. I mean, anything is still available right now. So we have a quick look through how solo Beck is doing at the moment. Omegatron hasn't been back to base yet. He looks very, very healthy and full of mana and joys of life, and pressuring in Jonquita Tower here.
Yeah, his Vampire Shroud doing just fine for keeping him sustained in the lane. He's got a lot more health pots and mana pots here, surprisingly enough, considering he has a bit of a heal himself, but just trying to, keep his positioning, use his Sickening Strike, which he is undoubtedly maxing, and continue to knock down these minions. Shing is going to rotate over and help clear this wave out, but they can't put too much pressure onto the Crocodile. He's just, he's pretty elusive with the charge spray, but also just very tanky.
Gonna look for Jerby, does jump in, get the stun, bit of damage going out. Agni's there for the bombs over the top, double one connects. No triple available, but big shout out to Agnister as well, who immediately at the respawn of that left-hand blue buff in the duo lane went and stole it away instead of rotating it over for his own buffs in this jungle.
So they will force Jerbs out of the lane. Shing's going to rotate over to cover, which leaves the 1v1 Pure over in the solo lane, but it looks like Omega's having really no trouble with Kiki. In fact, is really out-clearing the mage here, or the Pure mage here in Junkway, so bully to him, and it's going to be early pen boots rushed out for Omegatron, so really kind of, I guess he's really kind of showing us a bit here of how the solo Beck build can really progress. Pen boots first is not really something that we see that often on anything outside of the mid laners.
No, but I mean, it will give him the mobility. That's the big thing that he wants, to be able to get in range for the charge prey and be able to get people into that little grasp and into the Kali possibility of ganks or Agni as well. So I can understand why he's gone for that rush earlier on. It's one of the things that he's going to lack is his mobility to be able to get into these fights and get the position he wants. I expect to possibly see him pick up a blink as well, just to be able to blink.
I was going to say, yeah, what do you expect his second active to be? Likely to be the blink or the creeping curse.
Blink or creeping curse. Yeah, I think those two are probably the top two for him to pick up. But mid-camp spawning again, and once again, we might see a split this time as Snipe is going to set off a left-hand side, I think.
Yeah, they're going to take those left camps. Shing's going to peek his head over to the right.
He's going to use ult again? Is he going to use ult again?
Oh, yeah. Come on,
Here we
Jeb,
go.
do it.
Go on, Jeb.
Do it.
Go on, Jeb. Go on, Jeb.
No, it's just going to be Tornado.
Oh, Shing's going ham. Shing's gone ham. Hard in there. Jeff Hill is in a bit of trouble. Great rollout connecting from Incontinentia. The Cataclysm connects as well. But bombs over the top from MLC Stealth. There's a great uppercut from Jeff Hill just to force to disengage.
Oh, Derby!
It does
gets the
force
kill.
it. But can they protect him? Shing knows he's down. They're just going to let the passive run. This is a good call, because that's what Kumbhakana's passive can do, is bait your team into a very, very bad fight.
Yeah, that's showing some discipline there as Snipe. I know that I would have run in there and tried to kill that.
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Everybody would have. That's the benefit of it. And we've seen it time and time again in some of these high-level games that people do fall for it because they're like, well, it's first blood, it's worth, if we can get it first.
Yeah, big plays coming through there. This just in. It looks like Dignitas has won over the Game Changers in the round of 4. Their game over pretty quickly there.
That was very, very quick.
About 20 minutes in.
Was that the Fenrir game?
The Fenrir game, yeah, indeed.
The Fenrir game.
It looks like they recovered.
It looks like they did. They dealt with the Fenrir well for the time being. So 0-0 in this one still. 7.5 minutes in the game. Golden experience slightly in favour of Cognitive right now, but not by a lot. It's less than 1,000 on both. As we can see, Anderson rotating around. A great blink uppercut combination coming out. And look who's waiting. It's Carly, but immediate ball usage from Allied was fantastic. Followed by the shield. And now it's the turn of Snipe to rotate back in this one. Tornado doesn't connect from Jerby, and Anderson's going to walk away from this. As we can see the rest of the team disengage, and MLC Stealth putting a bit of damage on the backside. But it stays at 0-0. And that just shows the level of play bar that everybody lives.
Yeah, and Snipe is basically out of mana there. That was kind of the issue. Is Chalk and Ao Kwong after they tried to rotate in and put out the damage, just had no more mana left to continue to aggress, which made it a fairly easy disengage from the boys of Cog.
So as it stands now, mid-camps are still down for a while, so there's nothing any team's going to get out of this when we see Incontinentia rotating around to make sure that the Gold Fury wasn't being taken there. But now a re-engage over from the Cognitive Gaming now, and Incontinentia's in trouble, using the shield on himself, gets stunned out, he's going to be first blood. Oh no, he's not, that Cataclysm was huge. Yes, he is now. Anderson picks that one up, but now he's going to pay the ultimate price. He's going to play the iron price and go down here unless he can find a leap. He's going to use the ultimate, actually. Can he get away?
Oh, Jerbs.
Oh, he misses it again. Jeremy does not connect with that one, and Anderson's going to live. Great use of that ultimate to get away.
Mezzed out there, and actually I see looking at the chat there, Wolfie, aka Competitive Online, with a great little bit of insight there. Is look at the difference of the gold here as Jeff Finley goes down to an easy tornado from Jerby. The difference on the gold from Andister and the enemy jungler in Xing. And the difference between Death's Toll and Bumba's Mask there is really being shown out. You know, less the kill that granted him about another additional 100 gold on top of that. Setting about 500 gold ahead from the Bumba's Mask, not splitting that golden XP. Gold Fury going the way of Snipe there is going to put old Anister even more ahead now as he tops a 5,000 net worth right there with a solo laner and mid laner. So all things told, a very, very good opening game here from Cognitive.
Yeah, and it's a rotating mid lane, looking for some more aggression as well, but going to be a disengage as they take the right-hand and left-hand camps in favour of Cognitive. Oh, no, they're not. They're looking for more aggression. And this is actually rotating for the speed buff. And he could get spotted out by Zhang Kui here, and Xing rotating over, but Xing isn't in the healthiest state of health right now, but in contradiction, rotating over as well. They get the speed and get away.
Yeah, look at that with the speed. Sobek, he can always charge away if he wants to. Andy putting some damage out onto Xing. Xing's going to be forced to dash back as there's a blinking from Jeff Hinla into the epic uppercut. I'm not sure if Anister's blades hit, but Xing's axe still on the ground. He's going to get out of there. A-OK. Omega's going to try to pursue this in the tower. He's going to get it with the tail whip. So much damage from the Sobek, man. Let's actually, I want to take a look quickly here. What is his player damage sitting at? 3,200. Yeah, I mean, he's just behind his mid laner, and he's ahead of everybody on the enemy team except for Ally.
And now Incontinential's caught out of position as well, taking a lot of damage. The double stun Cataclysm going to save his life for the time being. Rollout, not going to be enough. Apollo rotates in. Not required though, so they're going to have to put pressure onto that middle lane now. Cognitive Gaming 3-1 up, even though they did lose that Gold Fury. They've got a great experience advantage.
Yeah, they have the gold and experience advantage. The gold advantage to the tune of about 500, 600 gold experience, getting up there close to about 2,500. Kiki's going to take some harass there from Anister, missed the slow on the way back, and Jeff is going to eat a squall for his trouble, but it will prevent it from going out on Anister, allowing him to continue out into the jungle here and pull more and more ahead, but a level 13 Omega and level 13 Stealth is going to be ugly stuff considering the Jerb in the mid lane and Kiki in the solo are still level 12. The experience advantage continues to climb.
And going back to what Wolfie was saying about the Bumba's Mask and the Death's Toll as well, he said earlier as well, and it's very, very true, is that during competitive play, you end up sharing a lot more experience with other players on your team, especially in your jungle. And to have the Bumba's Mask, it means you do get ahead in terms of gold, whereas the Death's Toll, you will drop off. It's more of a solo queue-esque sort of build on the Death's Toll than the Bumba's Mask. And if you do get behind with a Death's Toll, you can't really catch that back up, especially when your team are going to be looking to share that experience with you in the jungle all the time.
Yeah, I think that's one of the bigger overlooked parts of the Bumba's Mask is that you don't split experience and gold with the members of your team from the mid. With all three meteors hitting on Jerbs in the mid lane for stealth. And you can see now Jerby in a bit of an awkward position. He does still not have the Book of Thoth finish here as the Soul Reliquary is sitting there. Did go for that early, the Lost Artifact for the MP5 and the option to build into Hootie a bit later, but then going into Thoth after boots. It's going to be another, maybe looking at its in-hand gold of 700, probably about another maybe 17-minute Book of Thoth, 15 to 17-minute Book of Thoth.
Yeah, oh, blinking. Left-hand lane from Jeff Henley, immediately disengaged with the shield from Allied, but Andis is rotating over here. The boar has been dropped, and that's a full disengage as the whole members of Snipe were waiting under the tower, looking for an opportunity for a re-engage or a counter-strike back. But for the time being, everyone's going to retreat back to mid lane. Left-hand harpies are available once again as we have a quick look over at Megatron. And once again, he's just farming away. 2 levels ahead now of Kiki the Chunk.
His petitioning is just so aggressive. He's standing out way in front of the lane, letting the enemy minions kill off his, going for the old deny strats. I mean, this is like old school solo Sobek style.
Yeah, it's really good play as well, because if he comes into the lane, he's just going to take a lot of free poke from it as well. He's having a big issue with it. And with that hide of the Urchin as well, he's just going to be so tanky as this game goes on.
Big rotation in the mid lane here. Xing and Jerb spotting it out. They're rotating into the right side of their jungle, but that means that Andister and Jeff Hinla are going to be able to push them off the mark on this mid camp. Right side mid camp should be coming up here in about the next 20 seconds. And I imagine that Cog is going to stick around for now, maybe try to put some pressure on the left side lane, force him back with some rotations. But lots of wards also being purchased by Snipe is worth pointing out. They have a lot of the center mass of the map lit up.
Yeah, both teams just playing it very, very cagily now. Both looking for an opening wherever possible. We might find one in mid on Jerby against Andister rotates round. Not going to find it though. Ward is there, as we already said. It's a bit of a tough ask now for both teams just to look for a fight, because I think they do want to fight and scrap now, but it's just finding the opportunities.
Xing's going to throw the axe, but it's not going to come. They're going to use actually 2 hands there, maybe a little stacked up. Actually, Omega going to put out quite a bit of damage on the Kiki here, slowing him down with the ultimate, with a full minion wave there, and Andister
is coming. He's used sprint.
But Chalk is here.
He's not giving up. Jumps in. Stun connects.
Stun, but here's the Chalk. Does Chalk have the ultimate? No, it's going to be a Geb ultimate, but it's not going to find too much. They still haven't secured this kill onto Kiki, and now they're diving the tower. Andy really, really wants it. I'm pretty sure that's his target. Does he get it with the leap? Needs the auto attack.
No, he's going to go down! Think he's still going, and the Megatron going to chase in for it. Going to look for the prey. Does actually manage to secure that one. Now he's going to get out of trouble. Not got anything to get out of there. Jeff Hindler's in there again. The Mez comes out, and that's a disengage. Meanwhile, mid lane, MLC Stealth finds Jerby 1v1. As we see Jeff Hindler being aggressed on by Shing, who's not giving up the fight, but too low on mana to continue. 5 for 2 across the map.
Wow. I mean, all across the map there, fights going down. I'm sure Anister's a little bit on tilt after that one there. Clearly, when you see a Kali getting that aggressive, that is going to be her target, and unable to secure that is, I mean, and there's the height of the urchin kind of pick up there for Zhang Kui coming into play, as you mentioned. I mean, the tankiness that he gets inherently from using his abilities, filling up the demon bag, as well as building that height of the urchin, just means that, kind of as we said in the last game, it puts him just a little bit over the edge of being really tanky while still having decent damage.
But it does reduce his damage by building that as a second item. But left-hand side, we see Cognitive trying to take an early Gold Fury. Allied actually uses the ball, but gets spotted by ML Stealth. Good stun. And Allied's low on mana here. Has to use the sprint to try and get away. Should be okay for the time being. But Gold Fury gets reset for the time being, so that works out well for Allied and Snipe.
Yeah, Incon's rotated over now as well. He's here. I'm not sure exactly what play that Snipe is hoping to make here by bunching up on the left side. Obviously, they want to stop the Gold Fury attempt from Hog, but they're going to start it up themselves, and they have an Artemis trap there right in front. Jeff Hindler's going to finally find a good Mez in this game. It's a great one, in fact, and then in comes the root, but not a lot of follow-up so far from the boys of Cog. Jervio's ultimate coming through, but not hitting anybody except for his own team, which of course doesn't do damage. Incontinentia now going into the backline onto Jeff Hindler. Jeff trying to kite them around near the traps in the backside of the fight in the enemy jungle here. Cog is doing some nice damage. Omega going to put out a tremendous amount of damage on a Jerby. Tail Whip should finish this one off. Indeed, it will. Andy, however, in some serious trouble. Going to use the ultimate there. And he's dead to rights. However, it looks like as the ultimate ends. No, he's going to actually
dead
over the stun. Now just kiting around, juking. But yeah, down he goes. We had to make it exciting, him in, but yeah, you're right.
Shout out to Jeff Hindler in that. He zoned out 3 members. He zoned out 3 members of the team for the longest parts of that fight. Just keeping them busy, juking around, using the Mez where possible and the Groggy Strike together, keeping them way, way out of that fight and allowing his team to clean up. Gold Fury still standing though, so only a small advantage gained from Cognitive Gaming there.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting positioning there from Jerby, in fact. Worth pointing out, I think. As the Apollo came crashing in, he went kind of back into the fight and then ulted back towards his teammates, and he was able to actually clip 2 of the members of Cog, picking up the hit onto both Anister as well as Stealth, and probably the 2 best targets he could have found. I actually didn't catch those because they're right in the beginning, but kind of I just get back in time and took a look at it. What it does is that that's how they secure the kill on Andy. He gets so low, he's forced to kind of run out of the fight, but really it also forces Stealth out of that fight, so he can't rain the bombs in and continue to do his crazy Agni damage, kind of forced to dash. So even though there was such a nice initiation from Jeff Hindler there, I think that one is in quite a big way advantage Snipe.
Yeah, I mean, looking across the map as well, have a little look at Megatron. Solo Beck is level 18, the highest level in the game, and he's 3-0-1 on Solo Beck.
Yeah, and I mean, he's now, so him and Zhang Kui are the same build, which is not something that you would have ever expected.
Look in middle, connects, and Continentia's in trouble, has to use the Cataclysm early to save himself from death, and that could force a fight as left-hand side, Allied being aggressed on once again, and he's had to use the Boar as well. This is a good opportunity for Cognitive to fight at this Gold Fury with those 2 ultimates down.
Yeah, indeed. I think they have a great opportunity here. They weren't able to pick up the kill on the Geb, but I mean, they could have started there and probably killed it before he got back in. Shing, I think, is struggling a bit this match. Has done a nice job recovering from some early camp invades, but is, at the end of the day, is a chalk that we haven't really called out a massive ultimate yet to change the team fight. But now, this could be his opportunity. This is a great ultimate from Jerb. It's going to hit Anderson, but they don't have the follow-up. Shingo's re-engaging there to try to peel for Jerby, and they're not going to have the re-engage opportunity on to the Kali, who's going to just run back out of this fight. Zhang Kui considers tower diving, but not going to be there. Now it's going to be Gavin Chalk trying to get an angle onto Barracuda. This could be the silence we're looking for. No, the dash comes through a little bit too early. The sprint already on line at sprint 2, and they're just not going to have the follow-up. So still kind of really looking to make his presence known is Shing on that Chalk 0-1 and 2.
That's a big call from Barracuda there. He was running for his life, but chose not to use the across the sky to escape, which would have allowed him the access to get free. Instead, he saves it, which allows him just to keep applying the pressure over again.
What is this life? What is this build from Sobek?
Oh, Chronos Pendant. I mean, it does give him cooldown reduction as well. That's one thing people, don't take into account. And he does have pretty big mana costs overall. And this is going aggressive again as the Gold Fury is pulled. Shing's taking the brunt of the damage. And there's a big stun coming out once again on the backside from MLC Stealth. And we're just going to have the little dance party once again, as we can see mid lane on Megatron is rotating around with Jean-Qui once again.
Didn't you know that you should just buy meditation instead of items
No,
like the Chronos Pendant?
Don't.
Give you
I will
massive
rage.
amounts of MP5 and magical power.
That. No, we will not talk about meditation.
Because who needs a sprint in the hand of the gods, right?
Snipe takes the Gold Fury, but at what cost is the question. Shing gets a great ultimate off because the MLC Stealth rolling for his life. Jeremy takes him out eventually, but Barracuda is here and cleans up quite a lot of kills. He's looking for a third here. Will he find out in consolation? The rollout is applied. The blink over from Jeff Hindler is not going to find him. And there's a great blink in response from Incontinentia. He's going to survive for the time being, but Barracuda did work.
So, this Kali pick is a little bit questionable to pick into Zhang and Aokwang. There's just a lot of dots there. There's not a lot of dots in this game. And to pick Kali, who is very vulnerable to dots, into really the two notable dotters in the game is, I think, a little bit suspect.
Really is. Epic uppercut used in middle lane just to allow Barracuda time to take down the tower. Nice usage of the Mez and the uppercut just to deny any sort of resistance from Kiki there. As we are 20 minutes in the game now, and experience is 7,500 gold in favor of Cognitive. However, the gold's only 1,600 right now.
God, look how much bullying Omega's doing to Kiki. And he's just like,
level 19.
Anytime he comes to the lane, it's just so hard, and they're actually going to rotate two over here.
Can't believe you mentioned meditation. I'm so
well, I mean, I guess the point here is that it's kind of absurd to buy meditation and any kind of legitimate level play when there are items that afford you, the same amount of magical power or the same amount of basically mana sustain with a 25 MP5 the Chronos Pendant yields, plus the blue buff he's going to be able to consistently pick up. And even items like Book of Thoth that give you mana in a meaningful way, or even the Breastplate of Valor, when to get a meditation then is just a little bit. I mean, you're just sacrificing so much. This heavenly agility that Sobek has is going to outperform meditation so heavily. I mean, granted, he would have had the meditation for the entire laning phase, but at no point was he really like having trouble boxing the Zhang-Kui because of mana issues. So, I think the Chronos Pendant is really being purely picked up here for the cooldown reduction and magical power yields. I mean, this item has had the magical power contribution buff, I think, twice since its inception. So 75 is definitely nothing to shake your head at there. And he's going to be building into Pen as well. What I expect to be yet another Obsidian Shard. I don't see Sobek synergizing too heavily with a Spear of the Magus. He's only going to be using two abilities most of the time. But hey, it could work. I mean, and it would definitely steroid the stealth Agni damage.
Does for that. So we are still 21 minutes in this game. The Gold Fury's down. Fire Giant is available, but it's not really an objective that anyone would be looking to take just yet. This game is really, really close, though. Both teams are not willing to give up anything in this one. And Snipe are not out of this by any stretch of the imagination. Even though they're behind in kills, all towers still standing, apart from the one in middle lane for Snipe.
So, right side lane here. Sobek continues to bully everybody. They're going to make their way towards the mid. Tier 1 already down, mid camps. Left side going the way to Cog pretty easily. They've had really nice control of these mid camps the entire game, and that's really translated into this big experience difference. 8,000 experience, and so much of that has to be on Omega. What's his XP a minute? 668 XP per minute, 621 for Stealth, 600 for Barracuda. All three of them over 600 XP a minute, and then 460 on Andy in the jungle. 460 is good for basically almost the relatively close to the top for Snipe. Snipe's top end farm are sitting at about 550 GPM, so or XPM, I'm sorry. So the XP gain for Cog right now is just out of this world.
And still looking for the kill. He's going to find it onto Shing. It wasn't his
beating.
target though, so backs away. The ultimate was used by Shing there as well. One thing to note as well, Bart, is the fact that Allied is so far behind Barracuda in terms of levels right now. He's 3 levels down against the other hunter.
Yeah, I mean, he has 2 deaths to his name, Barracuda 3-0, so some of the gold coming from there, but the levels are just Barracuda putting that gold to work and bullying that other hunter out of the lane. And this is really how Apollo can win the matchup. He does have the better boxing as long as he has the item advantage. I mean, his passive yielding all that extra attack speed, as long as he gets to crit items first and he isn't really drawing even with Artemis in terms of farm, it should be a pretty easy matchup for the, or rather, it'll be a more even matchup for the Apollo, where normally you would say Artemis has the advantage, all things equal.
Yeah, I mean, the reason Artemis generally has an advantage is just because she can poke from quite far away and not get into the range of Apollo where he's going to be in trouble. And if he does come in close and you've got the traps and you've got the ball available, tries to jump in. So he does have a bit of a deficit there. But, you know, if you get ahead in any matchup, that's the best thing about Smite, honestly, is the fact that even though there is matchups, whether it's favorable to one god, if you are a good player, this game is all skill-based. And if you can land your skills better, you can win negative matchups.
That's right. That's right. And, I mean, I keep on kind of going back, and we're harping on Omega, but, I mean, look at this positioning here. He just keeps on doing this. He kind of clears the wave, smacks around the Junkway a little bit, and then just goes and stands right here.
Yo, he might find Jerby now.
This time he's going to rotate all the way in. Jerby in some serious trouble. Tail whip not used yet. The Spear 7 is going to get the knockup. It doesn't matter. He's going to fall just in time. And that's going to be knock up onto Shing. They don't have another Sun available, but they do have an ultimate lurking in the waters from Omegatron. Dashing back cleverly is Shing. It's going to avoid a lot of that burst damage, but he has dashed into Anister, crashing in now as Barracuda as well. Getting that knockup. That's an easy kill. Ally now the one in some trouble. Too much damage from Omega, melting through the enemy Hunter. Kiki is going to waddle out of the way of the other waddler coming in, but this is going to maybe yield a Fire Giant here. Incontinentia is still alive, and he can definitely steal this thing with the Blink Geb. Cataclysm is online. His Blink is rank 2, however. We expect it to be up, but the Fire Giant is melting fast, and Omega is going to have so much to say about this opportunity to blink in. And Khan's a bit early. Magic Blessing used. Forced to go out. They're going to disengage the Fire Giant. He's still aggro, however, as Barracuda continues to shoot him down. In the backside of the fight, Kiki finds a 3-man stun. A lot of damage. Andy is going to fall here to this dot. There's no way he can secure the kill before it goes down. Getting knocked up now, and he will fall. Fire Giant still alive. They're going to try to whittle it down in time. They're going to get it, but at what cost? They're going to lose 2 members. Stealth and Anister are out of the fight. However, they do get the Fire Giant buff onto Barracuda, where it is probably most needed in terms of tower push potential.
They made a meal out of that one, in all honesty. At first, Omegatron did a great job of zoning Kiki away from the fight, but as soon as Incontinentia turned up, they decided to disengage and fight Incontinentia. It was a great Cataclysm, and then we saw Kiki put the damage back out and force the members to die, and just forced them out. Barracuda does help secure the Fire Giant with the help of Jeff Hindler there, but that could have been a lot cleaner if they would have all just focused the same target at the same time, but that Cataclysm was big, and maybe, just maybe, we'll see Snipe get the Gold Fury here in response, and that means they're definitely not out of it.
Yeah, they'll get the Gold Fury here. This is going to put them... XP still going to be a pretty wide spread here, dropping down to about 11k. Gold difference now just under 2,500 as well. So, I mean, yeah, shades of hope here for Snipe. As you mentioned, the 4-man Cataclysm was just ridiculous.
Really
I mean, Kiki pretty much just hit 4 after that and was able to clean that up. But really, all of it goes to Incon there in terms of how that fight was won. How the West was won, featuring Incontinentia.
So at the moment, we've got a split push going on. This was a good call from Snipe. Take objectives where possible. It's only 100 gold for each member of the team, but at the end of the day, it is gold. And they traded a tower for tower, as Sobek did take out that right-hand side one. But if they can keep the lanes pushed out, this is the big thing you have to do with Fire Giant, is when the enemy team's got a Fire Giant, is try and keep the lanes pushed out so they can't get to your towers as easily and put the pressure on. And if they want to take those towers, they have to backdoor them and get aggressive. But now Anister's getting aggressive onto Jerby here. Jerby's in a lot of trouble. Important Aegis used there overall. Is she going to be able to find the kill?
Oh, no, she's going to get out of there. The Cataclysm not going to hit and barely disengages Anister. Speed buff and sprint lending themselves there. Now Omega's made his way to the front line. No one wants to fight that. They all immediately spread out and back off. The Sickening Strike Tail Whip combination is probably hitting for about 1,000 damage at this stage in the game with his damage items. And the pen coming out from the Void Zone. He's making his way into what appears to be a Rata Tahuti that's going to stare at him even more. But, I mean, you know, it's still a tall task for Snipe. This game is relatively close, but it's not that close, really. I mean, Cog still has a definite advantage in Omega. They have no answer for this Sobek right now. And
Omega's just wandering around.
What are they going to do about it ever, right? I mean, he's just so tanky. He's putting out just crazy amounts of damage right now. It's going to be very tough. Well, like I said, the Spear of the Magus on Kiki, and if they get the Obsidian Shard up and running on Gerbs as well, perhaps they have enough pen to get through what Sobek's bringing to the table.
Connects from Shing. Sorry, Shing's in trouble again. Uses the ultimate onto Anister. He's the focus for this one. Taking a lot of damage. Actually going to go down to Kiki. And now it's a 4v5. But the rest of the team have started to group up. Allied actually takes out a Megatron. The big crocodile is down as MLC Stealth starts to rain death onto Kiki. The disengage happens for the time being, but 2 members of Cognitive Gaming go down with that one. And I'm pretty sure one of them had the Fire Giant.
Interesting.
Well, Megatron does drop there.
I think a bit too aggressive there from Cog. I mean, they overextended the jungle. Good play some Allied there to burst down the Sobek, able to get him out of that fight. They do have a 2-for-1 trade there, which, I mean, even an even trade would have been in Snipe's favor here, considering the deficit that they are in. And I mean, I think a little bit here, it's worth mentioning that Kiki brings a very different god pool to the table than Wolfie, their former solo laner, did, and Zhang Kui really probably the one you can point at saying this is what's keeping them in the game right now. So, you know, I guess it's still kind of on the table as to whether or not this was a good trade for them to pick up Kiki in favor of Wolfie. Maybe perhaps we'll see today if Snipe's able to find a win over Cog to really call it one way or the other, but certainly access to a different set of gods.
Well, I mean, everybody always plays different gods as well, you know, in the grand scheme of it. You're always going to find people that find different god pools to their advantage and strengths and weaknesses. As time goes on, though, you may find out, you know, which one worked out better. I mean, if Snipe don't qualify for the tournament, then you won't know either way anyway, you know? Because it's like, well, they didn't qualify with Wolfie because the tournament was still going on. And will they qualify with Kiki? Well, it's yet to be seen. If they don't, then how can you tell which one was better, you know? Maybe it's just, you know, personality and stuff. I don't know the ins and outs of it. All I know is that, you know, they replaced a member. Is it going to pay off for him? We'll find out.
That's right, yeah. Moment, I mean, it's always tricky. I mean, we saw already. I mean, they had a tough time, Snipe did, with Critosaurus. So I mean, you could already point out and said that it's differently when it's a hard thing to kind of, you know, make a good answer for that. I mean, because as we see, you know, they're going to struggle for a little while just replacing anybody, especially as we mentioned, Wolfie being the kind of the drafter for the team. I mean, they're replacing a big member of the team here, and even though Kiki seems to be performing well in this game, it's really going to be hard to tell exactly how that all works out. But I mean, in the laning phase,
he just
Omega has charge. really
charge break connects on Kiki. Kiki's going to have to run as they're lurking in the waters. He's popped. Anderson jumps over the wall. The stun connects. Great shield from Incontinentia to break that stun. But the charge break connects again. And Kiki is down. The damage dealer is down. Jeff Hindler gets the epic uppercut onto Jerby, who misses the Spirit Tempest and is on half health. But the groggy strike connects and Anderson's going in again. But once again, the Cataclysm combination with Shing's silence is enough to bring down Anderson, and Jerby's the one that gets that kill.
So Jerb able to turn that around and find a kill on the backlines there. Kali once again going deep. She seemed not very effective. I mean, realistically. She's found some just crazy kind of sticking to the target kills and bursting people down very, very quickly. But we haven't seen her be as effective as perhaps maybe Hunbots would have been in the same pick situation. Or even a Loki or another kind of true, pure assassin like Kali is. I'm just, you know, and maybe it's just been, maybe it all would have been different had he found that one kill into the tower in a Zhang Kui where it was certainly his target. Perhaps that would have, you know, maybe a big confidence boost as well as really continued the snowball. But now, 3, 6, and 10. Farm is okay. 13,500 gold, sitting at the high end of where Snipe's top farmers are. So definitely keeping pace in terms of damage potential. And the Magic's Blessing should help. But all things told, I'd say it's a bit of a wash in terms of
when you look
efficacy.
At that. When you look at what he's done though with Kali though, he's 3, 6, and 10. That means he's been involved in every kill apart from 2 so far. As we see the Fire Giant contested, you can see straight away though, Snipe picks this one up as Barracuda rotating in, looking for kills. Where's Apollo going to land? He's actually going to miss Allied, trying to get the aggression on once again, looking for a pick. Not going to find any. Full disengage from Snipe. That was a really, really big pickup for them.
Wow, he actually ulted and used the sprint there, so 2 cooldowns used, not able to find any damage on any of the gods. It's a Fire Giant pickup, and then a full-on retreat from Snipe, and now they're just going to fall back and defend this next push coming in. Gold Fury, going to be an easy pickup for Kog, it looks like here. Barracuda's damage at this point should be easy peasy. And it's, I'm not sure, like, what do you do here if you're Snipe? Do you try to bunch up and aggress really heavily? Get towers? Yeah.
Definitely. Big towers, get the gold back in your favor. Go for the tier 2s, get that extra gold going. Even up the gold score. The experience will come with it as you push in. I mean, if you've got a 5-man team, even if you are behind, but you've got Fire Giant, you're going to regen in these fights. So you're going to be able to continue the push. And as you can see from Snipe, they're doing a good job right now of repositioning and trying to extend these fights longer, where they're actually going to come out on top, which is not Cognitive's best strength.
Look for Sickening Strike hits like 3+ targets in the next team fight. Ooh, Snipe might wipe. If they get like a massive healing debuff and they're relying on that Fire Giant buff because they are behind and they get a little aggressive. So just look out for that. If you see that hit, really pay attention to how little they're going to be healing on the back of it. Although they do have the weakening curses that are going to give them a bit of a steroid. I'm sorry, the Heavenly Agilities will give them a bit of steroid in terms of the healing they're getting. So it may, obviously won't be a wash, but it'll help bring it back up. And that's something that we haven't really ever touched on too much that I can think of is Fire Giant buff plus Heavenly Agility is a lot of HP per second.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the point as well, we were talking about Anderson and the fact that he's not really paid off. I think it really has because he's been that extra front line. He's got Sobek there with him, he's got Kumba Corner, but the threat is Anderson, so they're all focusing him. And in doing so, it's allowing the rest of the team, like Agni and LLC staff, just able to rain fire at the back line and not get focused. And then Barracuda can turn up at the end as Apollo and go, "What's up? I'm here to clean up kills." So he's working out, as we can see, Tenantia going aggressive, gets the Cataclysm off, doesn't find anyone though other than Jeff Hindler, but they do get a tower out of it. Immediate rotation to right-hand lane. This is a good call. Take down these towers while you've got the buff.
This is a tough situation. It's a tough situation. Snipe's out on the razor's edge here. They've cut this lead down to 5K. They're going to aggress in this next tower. It's going to be conceded. But to build a lead again, they're going to need to take some tier 2s. And in the meantime, they're getting split push on the left side. No recalls coming out. Yeah, recalls just starting now. It looks like they may be able to actually...
for free.
They may be able to defend. If Shing's able to hit an ultimate...
There.
But Barracuda may just turn around and man up on him. It looks like Snipe's going to make their way across the map just in case he decides to stick around. It looks like Barracuda's committing to this tower now. Here comes Shing trying to clear it out. Tower goes down. Barracuda... Silence. Okay, this is going to be trouble. He's going to beads out. Does he? He's not going to be able to take the sides. Not going to have the time. Bore used. Down he goes.
That was good. That was good play from Snipe, but overall, all they get out of that is a single kill. They've still got Fire Giant for a little more time, so maybe they can barrel down this left-hand side now and take down the tier 2 tower. Maybe try and push in the Phoenix. 52 seconds on the respawn on Apollo here, so maybe they could try and fight a Phoenix in a 4v5. This could be their opportunity.
So pushing in is Snipe here. Fire Giant buff still up and running here for the next... well, like just a couple of moments, actually. They don't have too much longer on the buff. Pushing in now, and Khan tanking up the tower. If they get plucked by Sobek, it could still be trouble. No, Anderson recalling. Of course, they don't know that, but he's actually out of this fight. They're conceding this tower. Not sure if Shing and the rest of the Snipe crew have recognized it yet. No, it doesn't look like it. Anderson now making his way
Gotta be careful.
back up the lanes. Here's Sobek with the forward positioning. Still trying to chip down the tower. Fire Giant buff falling off any second. Allied eats a bomb for his trouble, but that should be enough for now. They're going to go ahead and disengage. Omega is going to miss on his pluck and actually going to get hit into a lot of trouble there.
They want to fight.
They want
to fight because Barracuda's up in a second. They're going to look for the across the skies. If they can, they're going to try and aggress again. That's what I expect out of them, and this is going to chase them down. Make sure they can't actually recall for the time being. Not going to find a fight, though. But overall, Snipe didn't really get that much out of it. They got, what was it, two outer towers? 2 outer towers and a second tier.
Yeah. No, three. They took the tier 1 in the right, the tier 1 in the mid, and the tier 2 on the left.
Okay, so they get 3 towers, but it's not worth that much gold. It's not going to close the deficit.
Right. Well, they traded the 1 tower.
That's right.
As we mentioned there, but even with the kill. So yeah, I mean the gold differential sits still at just under 5K.
So it's still a close game, but it's definitely in Cognitive's favor in terms of golden experience. I mean, now we keep talking about experience, but experience is coming to an end now. It's only the supports left to hit level 20. And once you hit level 20, there's no going any higher. You're not going to get any bonuses for extra experience after that. So keep an eye on the gold from now on as everyone's starting to reach full build. So it's going to be about catching picks, because now with 36 minutes in this game bar, if you get picked, you could lose a lot.
So items being purchased here. It looks like Incon's going to have his Soul Reaver available here shortly on the Geb. You're going to have a Witchstone likely coming out for Shing here. Ethereal Staff finish on Kiki. Over on the other side, MLC Stealth has Golden Sash rank 2, so still not sure exactly what this is going to be. Likely Gem of Isolation, although it could still be the Ethereal. That seems a bit unlikely, however. Also, it looks like Jeff Hindler's going to be picking up potentially a Winged one here with his Cursed Blade as well. Or Winged Blade, I'm sorry, as it stands now. And it looks like Omega is going to be going into that Mail of Renewal we would expect as his final item. So going to tank up just a bit more. Physical damage output from Artemis starting to get to him.
So we're going to see a Mexican standoff here of the 2 teams now looking to vie for position. At the moment, Cognitive are the ones in control. Going to look to take out the supports. That's going to be the focus. Incontinentia is definitely the one they really want to take out. But if they do that, the Cataclysm into the full combo of Kiki and Jerby could really come available to them. I'm surprised Jerby is not off split pushing here right now, trying to put some pressure on the map as they continue to get grouped. MLC Stealth gets caught out of position now. Dropped to half health, and Jeff Hindler has to blink in and use the Mez to get out of it. Now Megatron
bursted.
Is in a lot of trouble. He's still alive for the most part, but Shing's going to chase down, land the axe. It's not going to be enough to connect. He dives to the wall. Meanwhile, on the backside, Barracuda has chased onto Allied, and Shing takes out a Megatron, but now Allied's in trouble. The Hunter's going to drop his, Anderson chases in. He's not got his ultimate available. Shing's going to continue the chase down. Won't actually be enough. Big Kroggy strike coming out from Jeff Hindler, though, to slow him down. And if Jeff can escape, then that
Bear's in the back lines here. He's
one.
kind of in no man's land, isn't he? He was considering going in on the backside and trying to do some aggression, but now he's just kind of stuck into a position where he can throw in some pot shots at the Fire Giant. Needs to be careful, though. I mean, one shot on Jeremy is so much damage, but can he really
If
peel
hits,
all
he'll
5
hit.
away? It looks like he can.
Barra can do it, because if he just auto-attacks one, he's going to chunk them and chunk them and chunk them. Forcing them back, MLC stealth, rotating around, looking for a possible stun here. Can he land one? No, he will not. As everybody backs away, and MLC stealth takes another tornado, and that's going to chunk him down very, very low.
Late game tornado is not fun without any magical protection and stealth going full glass cannon, which, you know, you'd be expected, I suppose, on Agni, but...
He's still going, are you serious? We saw Jeff jumps back in, blinks in, yawns again. Anister was thinking about going in, choosing not to, as we have a full disengage. Finally, allied in the Megatron, and now back online.
So the attack speed slow is starting to come out across the board here. We have a Midgarian mail for Incontinentia, likely to be a Witchblade for Xing, as well as the Witchblade coming out now for Jeff Hinla. So these late game auto attackers, both teams, the Kali and Apollo, and on the other side it's going to be the Artemis, primarily Xing as well, on the chalk in a way. They're all going to be having these anti-attack speed items to help try to slow down the amount of damage coming out from the physical carries.
So for anybody interested at home how Solo Beck should be built at in-game stage, you can now see the full build of a Megatron. He's just going to finish off that steel mail, and you will see a full build Solo Beck in your game and how you actually itemize correctly to an extent. I mean, obviously, things will change. Cog gonna start the Fire Giant though, and Megatron and Anister are on zone injury. Anister's just gone crazy onto Allied on the backside, going super aggressive. The balls pop, the ultimate is down as well. There's the silence, and now Anister's gonna drop for it, but the Fire Giant does still stand as the Epic Uppercut connects. It's 1-0 so far, but Barracuda takes out Allied, and now the fighters turn with the Haunted down and the Assassin. What else can Snipe throw at them? Well, Incontinentia's dropping low, and Kiki's trying to get the damage off of the Ghosts. The Spirit Tempest over the wall from Jerby does not connect, and Kiki is going to find death. It looks like it, but Jerby's still getting those tornadoes off.
Shield.
He's still alive. That Stone Shield was huge. Don't Megatron going to die. He is, you know.
Oh my goodness.
Wow.
So, I mean, the play there had to be we'll trade Andy for the Fire Giant, but they disengaged the Fire Giant because he got melted so fast, and they just converged on him very, very easily. And actually, Snipe coming through with a big, big trade there. They trade just Allied for Omega, Barracuda, and Andy. Can they rally back and get that Fire Giant, though, in time is the question here. 40 minutes, 43 seconds remaining. Full item builds coming out across the board. Allied does still have a slot available, however, for his final damage item on the Artemis, which is always scary when she gets to 6 slots. 6 slots already achieved here on the Barracuda, and the Fire Giant going to be re-engaged on, but Jeff Hinla is up and running with a Blink 3 and a Hog. Can they do it with just the Agni and the Kumba?
This game is so close. He's going to go backwards and forwards constantly, and this Fire Giant dance is going to go on forever until we get someone split push and look for an opportunity. But here we go. Snipe are going to disengage again. They're going to have to, because Intercontinental is taking a lot of damage, and now Jeff Hinler's the one that's going to be able to be aggressive and look for an opportunity. Epic Uppercut does connect onto Kiki, but immediate shield once again. There's the Spirit Tempest. Doesn't connect with anyone, and Jeff Hinler's in trouble now. If he goes down, he's in passive form. Can they protect him in time? Xing uses the silences. Andister going aggressive again on the backside. Barracuda comes in. Great jump out by Andister, but now we can see MLC stealth looking for Xing. Xing is the dot applied to him. No, it's not. Barracuda running for his life.
Oh, he's dead.
It hits. It connects. That's it. He's over. Barracuda's going to drop as well. So Barra and Jeff both dead. Incontinentia stays standing. Snipe can regroup, go to Fire Giant because there is no Hog 3 on cognitive gaming here.
Barracuda popped a red pot right before he died too, and now has to purchase another one, but he's full 6 slotted, so what the hell's the difference, Hindu man? This is
this game's crazy.
42 minutes into the game, and it's
I'm not a pro player by any stretch of the imagination. I do not like to criticize builds out of players whatsoever. The only thing I will say is Andister's choice of sprint may be costing him issues. If he would have gone for the beads choice instead, he would have probably had a bit of an easier time, especially against the likes of the knockups of Incontinentia. He's also got to deal with the boar and then Xing's silence as well. All those things cause a lot of issues for Kali. As we can see the aggression once again from Cog. This is a great call. Taking Continentia out of the fight. Oh, Megatron confirms it, and that means Snipe can't do it either. This game is never going to end. Are you serious? NA, welcome. You have joined the ranks of EU with surprising me. I'm shocked.
Omega does have the Hog 3 as well, however. So, you know, they have some opportunities to go ahead and take this. They just don't have the DPS right now. But look at this left side lane, pretty pushed up close to the Phoenix there. Bit surprised to not just see the Apollo, you know, beta fight here and just take to the skies, go to the left side lane and try to find a Phoenix here as the Fire Giant fight rages on. I mean, it's definitely a risky play. You could give up the Fire Giant, but it's almost a guaranteed Phoenix if they don't check you. And but there's now a double wave pushing down the left side for the Chaos team. It's just becoming more and more difficult to go for that timing. The last fight probably was his time to go for it, but here we go. Piling in to the Gold Fury is Cognitive Gaming. 21 seconds left on Incontinent, just respawn. Do they have the damage in time, or are they going to get blown up by Spirit Tempest from Germany?
They're going to fight.
Kiki's ultimate not available for this fight.
Oh, Kiki's in a lot of trouble as well. He's poked down really low, but Jeremy takes out Anderson before he could use the ultimate. And now Allied is taking out Jeff Hindler. This is going for Snipe. Snipe are picking this one up. Barracuda's going to run away. There's nothing he can do. Look for the split push. That's what he needs to do. It's the only option he's got.
His ultimate's down. He can use it to secure the kill onto Allied. So he can't even really go for the split push. It's a Fire Giant conceded to Snipe now.
Wow, this game has gone backwards and forwards. Snipe finally takes the lead in terms of kills. Gold is still in favor of Cognitive, but with that Fire Giant on 4 members now, Bart, this is going to be tough for Cognitive.
That was a big, big ultimate from Jerby there, blowing up. And here's the thing. As we kind of mentioned earlier, picking the Kali into the 2 most potent daughters in the entire game, questionable. But now we're seeing that it's probably the Geb that's really the issue here. Anytime she leaps in and gets a stun off anyone, normally that's 4, 5, 6 auto attacks with her attack speed and her hit chain that potentially is going to be enough to go ahead and kill that target. But the Geb shield cleanses it immediately. They're going to go for the win here, though. So much damage this stage. You get 44 minutes, ladies and gentlemen. Can they do it? Tornado's doing so much damage. Barracuda forced to run out under his own Phoenix, and it looks like they're going to go ahead and concede this one in. Barracuda going to throw out a pot shot there at the end. Not going to be enough. Wow. It is going to be Snipe taking out Cog, and with Dig taking out Cog on the other side of the bracket, we're looking at a Cog v Cog 3rd, 4th place match. We got a team kill.
That is crazy. That game was amazing.
That game was amazing, my friend.
That was EU. I'm sorry if I'm dark on the screen, by the way, but it is getting late in the UK here, and the sun goes down at about 6 p.m. It's now nearly 9 p.m., so I will turn some lights on again soon, and then I'll be a ghost once again. But for the time being, I'll just be this little figure on your screens. you got little artifact shoulders there, but it is Cog versus Cog in the 3rd, 4th place match. It's going to be Team Dignitas versus Snipe in the finals this week. Ladies and gentlemen, don't go anywhere. For Hinderman, I'm hi-rez Bart. We'll be right back with the best of 3 finals in just a few moments. We'll see you then. And if you want to watch a Cog versus Cog match, you can do so in the game client by simply spectating one of the players. We do have a wonderful video for you from China about, I imagine, the Chinese show match that we will be showing for you. I'm not sure if that's this break or in the next one, so don't go anywhere. It's going to be very, very exciting for Hinderman. As I said, I'm hi-rez Bart. We'll see you guys in just a couple with the finals.